Some teams have some really good T sides on this map, particularly Virtus Pro, North. Even this heroic team has some pretty cool T sides at times. I would say Nip usually can put together some good T sides. So they're definitely like some of the best nuke teams in the world have figured out ways to play T side well. I think there's a lot of options for Terrace. I think executing upper is a little bit easier. Angles are a bit better. You have less to clear on upper. And then like outside is just so difficult to deal with as a CT team. So I think that like that's really opened up areas for T's to be successful. It's just CTs can still pretty quickly rotate though, which can make retaking a bit harder to deal with. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about like the sidedness of this map. I think it's certainly less CT sided than it used to be.
Oh, for sure. You don't really see 12-3, 13-2 sort of halves that often anymore. Nikolai is already down onto the B side. He's going to be jumping down onto Waylander's head, who got 2 kills beforehand. Had no right to get either. Nikolai comes in with a P2000. He's picked up one of the CT's boxes. We're going to put that to work. Valda with 2 on this Tech 9. Taking this round away from Flipside. And Blade coming in with 50 health is going to be dispatched with haste. 3 kills to Nikolai, 2 to Valda. Heroic with the first round on the board. So, maybe that last map is all but a distant memory now for Heroic.
Yeah, like I said, they've been really successful on Nuke offline. I think they were like 9-2 or 9-3 last year on it offline. The only matches they lost were to like top Nuke teams like Dignitas, for example. Now North, of course. They even beat them on Nuke once, though. So they're definitely a team that has been pretty solid on this map. So certainly a map I'd tilt a little bit in their favor. I mean, Flipside not too shabby on Nuke, but not as successful offline as Heroic has been. So I tilted a little bit in their favor. As we do see Nikolai here doing some damage to Markelov in the big garage, and also catching on to World Edit, who was trying to get a little bit sneaky on the secret stairwell, as they have full outside control at this point.
Waylander trying to shimmy his way into lobby, and he will be successful in his endeavours. Freeze gets picked off, betrayed by his hand sticking around the corner. Snappy dispatches of Markelov, who's up on the catwalk outside. And CT's trying to do what they can to stay together in close proximity and use those P2000s, the upgraded pistols that they have, 257s as well, to the devastatingly strong effect that we know they're capable of. Heroic, though, in fairness to them, are playing this one very slowly. They're not giving anything away for free. They're making sure that if a Flipside player gets a bit too antsy and tries to push out, he'll get punished.
Yeah, so this round's actually like really slowed down since Heroic got the initial control of outside, but they certainly have the advantage still. Snappy begins to work into Mini with that Flash coming up in heaven as well. Electronic going to be blinded by that, but will recover in time to catch this push and gets both the kills, gets the bomb down. Then it dropped to the floor so that they can pick it up and plant. Oh no, it didn't. Oh no. If they lose because of this, that would be insanity.
Well, let it say a lot of damage though on his approach. All that remains, Snappy. Oh, drops to his death, and they do get the bomb. But if they get this clutch now, the CTs, what is happening? Heroic! You just shit the bed, son. What is life? Snappy, please.
I can't breathe.
I don't know what to say.
I gotta get it together. Hold on, give me a second. Ugh. Oh man. I literally had to pull my glasses off and wipe my eye because like just legit tears of humor.
Oh, that's so rough to watch. And
oh man. Just
after we were saying how brutal that 11-4 comeback was, to lose a round like that at the start of this map as well. That's got to be devastating.
It was going to be bad enough that they might have lost that round just due to the bomb like being stuck in the upper rafters. But it just, the added of Snappy cratering just really brought that one to whole new heights.
To see him crater. Oh man. Okay, well, Heroic, come on. Let's bounce back in the best possible way. Let's just take this site, get the frags, get the bomb plant, get the round win. World Edit is doing what he can to stop that becoming a reality. Waylander through. Squeaky Or take down Snappy. On flip side, pick up a second. They do lose 3 players though, so it is going to hurt their economy a little bit. Albeit, I think it was effectively just SMGs they lost though. They kept 2 assault rifles alive. That's what counts.
All right, I think I'm back now. I think I'm good. I mean, all the humor aside, that really hurts Heroic though, because like that's when you get the pistol, you're thinking, all right, this is where I build my 3-0 start from T side. This is where I really like put myself in a good place on what is like still somewhat the more difficult side of this map. And then you've kind of just thrown it away because now Flipside are getting their economy really rolling. They've been able to disrupt you. They've stolen a round away, and now they're going to take the early lead. So that really kind of can catch you off guard, right? Like when you're expecting to have like a solid lead, now it's just been torn from you. Now you have to work that much harder to get back in the game, as we are seeing the bomb get planted this round in the lower bomb site. So at least that's going to give them some extra money going forward. But I don't think Flipside will have any trouble cleaning things up and making sure they get the 3-1 score.
Yeah, they got an M4, but Freeze only has a Glock, so they are going to be able to chime together. A couple of kills there, but Valve has gone down. Freeze does a backflip, breaks his neck on the way out. Flipside pick up a 3rd round, as expected. The bomb plant, though, is going to put their economy forward a nice little bit. Freeze could get himself an AWP pick, so we could have a decent buy for Heroic, but it's what they do with it that really counts, because they had so many cracks on the T side with full buys. They just yielded nothing. So let's see if that continues to be the case. Interesting enough, Freeze decides not to go for the AWP, instead of the AK-47, so that could suggest a faster T-strap that could be imminent.
Yeah, when I watch Heroic play T-side Nuke in the past, they always really seem to like to use that outer smoke wall, but then they have so many different variations from that point. Like, they'll throw it, and then they can hit outside, or they can hit upper, like, you never really know. But this time around, it looks like they've really just tried to jump the gun upper right away, using some different Molotovs and such. But so far, they haven't really been able to break through, right? They're actually in a man disadvantage. And so this is definitely not the look they wanted in their first gun round.
Yes, it's gone horribly wrong right off the get-go. They tried to force their way out onto A, just got naded out completely, losing 2 players, including Nico. Nikolai, I should mention, and Modi. I don't want people to get confused with Mousesports Nico. So it hasn't started great. They do have time, they do have the bomb, and they still have enough health and guns to play with. So they're not out of this just yet, but this is typically the situations they really struggled with on Mirage, and it continues to be the case as Snappy peeking out of Squeaky is taken down instantly, courtesy of Markelov.
I mean, this round has really just not gone the direction Heroic we're looking to go, as Valda trying to see if he can't still make a play outside, but he has been spotted by World Edit. World Edit misses the shot, though. Valda able to get the spam headshot through. They still have a little bit of time to play around with, and that bomb, I believe, is in the hands of Freeze, so he still might be able to get in here. These kills are going awry, but Blade does pick up one. Valda spots him out. They're going to get into a duel, but Blade's going to win it. And so Flipside are up 4-1. And so just a brilliant start here for Flipside. Heroic, though, still able to get the buy here. See if they want to go to something different. Like I said, I know they love to just play the outer smoke wall as like a foundation to go into other things, but also Snappy does have some pretty nifty upper executes, so they have a pretty deep playbook on this map, and we'll see probably the full length of it if Flipside can keep challenging them like this.
Nikolai now pushing outside by himself. Negligible damage by the nade. I think just took 4 off him. Just chipped away. Just the MP in his hands. He's being followed up though by plenty of terrorists. Going down into Squeaky. Heroic looking to get up close and personal with the counter-terrorists. Now, what doesn't all been playing well, maybe that's the smart play to do. However, Waylander in control room is going to be spraying with precision to take 2 players down and throw a molly in. So Freeze wants to go for this. He's losing a bit of health. Freeze! Oh my goodness, I got a bit worried there. That was a squeaky butt moment, to say the least. Freeze is going to come out on top overall.
Just as I gathered myself. Trust in good old Metis.
If Freeze died there, I would have been done. Like, I don't know what would have happened. But he did get the kill. Problem is, after he throws that molly, they have no utility other than a flashbang to work with. And look at Blade. Oh, surely Freeze just saw his gun around the corner. He did, and he does capitalize on that and lands the frag. The bomb will get planted.
Those newly placed boxes not really helping him out too much. But we still do have a 2v2 here, so still could go either way at this point.
It really could. Molotov has been picked up by Heroic, but flip side, smoking off the doors is going to make this a whole lot more difficult for terrorists to hold on to. Well, that's going to be peering into Decon, but gets picked off from behind. Markelov now with 1 in a second. Valda will be put down. He's got enough time. He's got a kit. Flip side with yet another round. Heroic, they just can't buy a round at the moment.
Yeah, it's really not going well for them at all at this point. I mean, Valda trying to put some work in, but it just really hasn't amounted to much here. There's really good defense from Flipside, really across the board, a full team effort. Everyone's really been pitching in here for Flipside after the monstrous comeback on Mirage on their CT side where they didn't allow a single terrorist round. They're doing some similar dominance on this CT side thus far. They've won 5 in a row ever since losing Pistol.
Well, Heroic, they have been battered, they have been bruised. This last map's worth of Counter-Strike, the second half of Mirage and the first half thus far of Nuke have been incredibly one-sided in Flipside's favour. Of course, again, depending on the side, a lot of people though would agree that this is more CT-sided than T-sided, so maybe Heroic have a few things up their sleeve. But
here is that outer smoke wall play, by the way. They do it differently, though. You notice they throw them deeper so they can actually, like, walk into mini without their vision blocked. And that's exactly what they're going to try to do in this round.
Markelov again, though, just teeing off on countless terrorists. It's 3 in a row.
God.
No avenging frag. He only loses a third of his health. Finally goes down. Freeze with 2 of his own kills. Nicely done. Scream-esque in his execution with the AK. But Markelov, with those opening 3 kills, they had no right to get all 3 of them. Surely the 1-for-1 trade should have been on the cards for Heroic. However, Heroic do have outside control. They do have the bomb now in the hands of the very capable Freeze. 2 mollies and 2 flashes, but Waylander from behind is going to be the nightmare for Heroic. Flipside with a 6th.
I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. A little bit unforgivable not to trade out Markelov a little bit faster. I mean, they had the personnel in position to do so, and they just couldn't jump the gun and capitalize. Almost like there was some hesitancy there, like to go out and be assertive and trade that back. This really gave Markelov free reign to maneuver around and find 3 kills. And when you have one player shutting you down like that outside, which, again, that's an area of the map that's so difficult to manage as CTs. We talk about because the Raptors are so much more easily accessible that it's like terrorists just have way more options to attack outside. Those smoke walls can be really painful to deal with as a CT. Yet you see Heroic not able to work any of those advantages into their favor, right? Like, they've just been getting blitzed like left and right. They've lost 6 rounds in a row. They've now had to take a timeout to talk things through. And I mean, it's one of those things where they've tried a good amount of things. Like, you know, they've done a couple of their upper executes. They've tried the smoke wall outside. And they're just not really finding the openings that they want. They're not getting the plays they want out of it. Even though Valda has 7 frags, they haven't necessarily been like really big time ones that can win around. Like, he hasn't really had the impact I normally see him have outside. Same with Nikolai. He's been a little bit more quiet this game than throughout the rest of the series. So they're just not really getting things going.
Yeah, plus Snappy, who had a great performance on Mirage, at least on the CT side, has certainly been absent here. Just 1 and 7. Has had minimal impacts. They decide to go for the half buy. This allows their economy to afford a full buy in the next round, especially considering their full round loss bonus coming up. But of course, you fall into that very dangerous trap again in these kind of scenarios, and a team that is up against it and losing a whole bunch of rounds, that if you do win a round, you have to keep that momentum going forward, otherwise you reset your round loss bonus, and you could potentially be in a worse position than you started. So Heroic, let's see what they're going to go for this. They've gone for 2 mollies and they've gone for 3 smokes. I'm very curious to see how they play off from this one. It appears that it's going to be just up into the standard sort of positions, nothing out of the ordinary. I thought maybe we'd see some kind of a rush coming into play. Freeze up on the silo. I'm just peering outside.
Yeah, Snappy breaking all the glass on the upper. He does this every single round, and that's cool. It's like a consistent thing, which means you can't really get a read from it. Like, it's not like he only breaks it when they do an upper execute, and so that they're able to easily like read the telegraph, like, okay, it's an upper hit. So just trying to kind of keep that pattern going. But what they do from it, I'm not really sure. You do see Freeze lining up a smoke here, maybe perhaps to block off mini garage. So it seems like they do want to execute this upper bomb site, just see if they can't swarm their way in there with Tech 9s and get a bomb plant. They do have a couple of Molotovs as well to clear top hut. maybe one other position behind the site or something. So we'll see if they can coordinate a good attack here.
Modi on the other side of the wall as far as Waylander is concerned. He's still on the lobby side. Of course, the winner of this map will move through to play against FaZe. And the winner of that one will go through to Las Vegas. They will qualify. So there's a lot to play for both teams. As Blade close range to close the door in the face of Heroic. 35 seconds left on the timer. And Blade in a whole bunch of smoke. Can't see a single thing. Electronic, though, is stepping up huge with 3 kills. Markelov takes the 4th away from him, but the damage has been done. And although it was a half by Heroic, get completely savaged. They don't get a single kill in the round. On the flip side, continue their winning way, 7-1. But this is really what that timeout was all about. It's this round that we need to be looking in and seeing what Heroic have to offer.
They actually didn't get a smoke on Mini at all. They actually tried to build like almost like a smoke tunnel to get into the site with cover to plant inside of it. And so you saw Flipside just kind of withdraw back and just kind of wait for the plant noise and just go in. And they just won all their duels once more. So really well done from Flipside. As you noted, though, this is like the really big round. This is kind of like their last hope, I feel like. If you can't convert this gun round, you're only going to have lesser buys going forward. I mean, sure, they're well into max loss bonus now, but you're limited on utility. You definitely won't have an op as you keep force buying up off the loss bonus. So you really need to start stringing some rounds together here and now. Otherwise, it's going to get a little bit, out of hand for them. This map is, pretty quickly spiraling out of control for Heroic, much like that Mirage second half did.
Yeah, both on T side as well, it should be mentioned. So their CT side's been pretty solid for Heroic today, barring that overpass. Actually, they went 8 and 7 behind on their CT side, but their Mirage CT side was fantastic. And we'll be hoping for more here. Here comes the full-on play, throwing out the mollies, the smokes through the windows at the roof. Flashes are connecting, but there's no play behind it. In the meanwhile, they're scampering outside, trying to take outside catwalk control, and they have been successful in this endeavor. But can they get through onto the site? Markelov once again, who has been on fire on Nuke, continues to turn the screw in the back of Flipside. And although they will get the bomb planted, it's all about this retake, which is going to be that much harder now that Snappy decides to go in and connect the headshot onto Waylander. Markelov is going to be darting up towards heaven. Will that it's playing with fire. Is he going to get burnt? Not quite. Nikolai's happy enough to stay in position. You can see how vital that actual ladder push was, because it's keeping Nico caught in 2 minds, but now the peeping Tom has been dispatched, and Heroic pick up a second round.
Yeah, after losing 7 rounds in a row, they finally put a second one on the board, but now they have to worry about their money being reset. Like, that's the big thing now. Also have to note that even though Flipside won 7 rounds in a row, their money's still actually quite low. Like, some of these rounds have gone down to the wire, like with only 1 or 2 players surviving. So they've had to do a good bit of rebuying throughout this half. So they're actually not as comfortably ahead as they'd like to be. I mean, they could be forced to save with a round loss here. That's where Heroic can get right back into the game if they can find like 4 rounds here in just a moment. So this is still well within reach of Heroic.
But if Will Let It starts to get picks like that, it could start to get in dangerous territory. With that free kill, able to relocate on top of it. Modi going to be charging through. Lands the headshot. A decent entry frag for Heroic, and that's going to open up the passage down into ramp. Meanwhile, Snappy's moving in. Blade, pardon me, is moving into control room. And Heroic looking for that plant. The bodyguard will be freeze. Is he going to have his teammates back? Yes, he will, but it's going to cost him his life. They're looking for a second one. Modi, in the meanwhile, is watching the flank, and if he plays his cards right, there could be 2 kills right for the taking. There's the first one. Will Let It is going to be looking to peer around the corner. He's going to have a flashbang in his eyes any second now, but it actually hits Modi more so than him. He's in a 1-on-2. And this is where the AWP can be a bit of a detriment to a clutch potential. He knows exactly where Vald is the barrel of the gun stuck through the doors, but it wasn't enough to secure the round. Heroic have got 2 in a row, and now Flipside is staring down an eco round.
Exactly what we were talking about in the last round, right? Like, despite the fact they had the big winning streak, the money wasn't really there, and now Heroic, even though they've really struggled throughout this first half, now they can start piecing something together. This could be very well a 4th round for them, and at that point, you're not even that far off of Flipside. Like, you win a couple of more rounds before the half is over, you're actually in pretty good shape despite the slow start. So this could still be a very dangerous game for Flipside. They by no means have this one tucked away. They need to get it back rolling in their favor once they get guns back in their hands. So you are going to see Heroic take control of outside with that smoke wall once more. They can really look to pressure mini garage or push through the smoke outside, secret. All their options are open to them at this point.
Oh, Nikolai, hello. Blade's head gets taken clean off his shoulders. Moddy's watching the flank around the back, as they are very much aware that their backside is not covered. Markloff is going to land one tap. This is where Waylander is about to have the most horrible of experiences. He's like, bro, why are you still in spawn? Kill me. But of course, Moddy already has, so rip. P250 for World Edit and a USP. And as you highlighted, you know, Heroic do have a gateway back into this. It was looking really bad at 7-1, 7-2. Was still looking pretty shaky, but as soon as you break that economy, Flipside's next buy is going to be nothing too spectacular. So this is Heroic's chance now.
And they've really been able to start finding their footing in this half. Looks like this round is all but over. Maybe you see World Edit and Electronic try to see if they can't find an exit, or two, see if they can't pick up a gun. Electronic does find an AK-47 from the fallen Valda, so maybe he can carry that over into the next round, save a little bit of cash. But yeah, Heroic really starting to find a little bit of momentum here. This will be the third round in a row. Starting to establish themselves a bit better. You're seeing like Valda and Nikolai start finding their form a bit better now. Madi also really pitching in a lot.
See World Edit and Electronic trying to save the AK. And if World Edit can get his hands on an extra assault rifle, then all the better.
That's your teammate, bud.
Actually, he gets tagged up by Electronic.
And then he dies in the explosion. So, oh, man.
Great banter. It really is top quality banter. It's alright though, you only had a P250. We'll be right back in for another buy. And someone's asking before as well in chat, so please enlighten them. Why do T sides shoot out the roof windows?
Just a pattern to establish. That way you can't get a read on if they're actually doing upper execute or not. Like I said, Snappy pretty much does it every single round for this team, from most of what I've watched. They do have an op in Freeze's hands, by the way, so this is a little bit different. They haven't had an op, I don't think, yet until just now, so maybe that's going to give them a little bit something extra to work with, maybe change the game plan up a bit, possibly catch Flipside off guard, maybe not be expecting an op. Snappy makes sure every single window goes broken.
Yeah, it's just to basically stop it being a telegraphed set play. If you suddenly start to hear the window shattering where smokes and flashes come through, you pretty much know it's going to be the A hit, so this keeps them on their toes.
Yeah, this opens up them being able... And also, if the glass doesn't break, some of your nades won't work.
Yep.
They won't land in the right place, particularly like their Molotov they like to use on top hut, or smokes they like to use in front the side or towards mini garage. Like, they just don't work the same way. So that's another thought.
The trajectory of the nades. So this one that Freeze is throwing right now would be derped a little bit had he not shot out the windows. But either way, Waylanders will be playing up close in the smoke. This allows him to jump on top of the terrorists that are aggressing. It's unlikely for him to be walking through that smoke without a lot of backup on Waylander. Runs out of bullets. I can understand why he wouldn't reload, because for all he knows, there's a lot more players rushing him down. Was hoping for the best. And I think Freeze actually gave Snappy a love tap with the AWP. So Snappy himself is down the gutter. He's been completely shreked. 25 seconds left.
Ooh, this could be interesting, though. Nikolai's going to sneak into heaven undetected. Gets the kill on the Markelov. Also finds another kill in the upper bomb side. So he's doing a lot of work to help lighten the load on his teammates here who are looking to get in and plant the bomb, which they are going to be able to do. And now they have a 2v2 post-plant.
Look at the health, though. Snappy and Free both solo. And Free still connects the shot onto Electronic, who is flying.
He was way more blind than I thought he would be from that flashbang.
Well, it's going to be trying to blind his approach as Freeze goes down. It's now pretty much down to the next bullet. Will it actually needs to be careful he doesn't fall to his demise here. Jumps up and Snappy will slam dunk him down. Heroic take the round, which is looking so poor, but Nikolai's double frag was so key to Heroic's victory there.
I mean, quite the turnaround for Heroic, isn't it? It's now 4 rounds in a row. The score looks way more manageable now than it used to be, and they have Flipside on a save again to make it even that much sweeter. They can march it even closer to a tie game now, as they're really doing some great things. I mean, I have to say that Nikolai was kind of the hero of that game, right? Because Waylander really shut down that upper execute fake at ramp room, got a couple of kills, really made it look like Flipside was going to take it away, but then Nikolai, 2 big kills from heaven. And a really well played teamwork there in the upper bomb site and the post plant hold as well.
Now it's another round that sees Flipside into pistol, so it's looking like a shocking half of Counter-Strike, but Heroic have definitely brought it back. Even if they lost from here on out, 5 rounds could be enough anyway. But of course, they'll be eyeing up a whole lot more than that. Blade with the cheeky P250 shots through the grates. He's going to get himself a kill. 3 playing 3. Well, let it close. Great, the P250. Not like this, Heroic. There's 2 AKs suddenly in the hands of Flipside. They've called correctly that Nico's still in garage, but the 8-punch is real. And Nico will capitalize, but how close is that? He gets a 4K, but Heroic nearly throwing that round.
Again, like, Nikolai has been so huge this series. I mean, he won a couple of rounds single-handedly on that CT side overpass, which kept him in the game in map 1. And here on Nuke, that's now 2 rounds in a row where he's been able to pull off like a huge play to get the round for his team, or like have at least a substantial impact towards that direction. So definitely got to tip your hat to him, like the newcomer to the team, very young, very inexperienced guy. He's really growing pretty rapidly, and when you consider he's next to a guy like Valda, like you're really starting to see Heroic put together a good core of firepower for this team, which would, you know, be good for their future, right? Because certainly you don't expect North or Astralis to do any shifting of players, so if these guys can try to build something on this Heroic team to be like a third Danish team that can be powerful in international standings, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Blade, in the meanwhile, though, is going to play aggressively up secret, gets the drop onto Snappy, is able to dart away. Modi not checking his corners, does get punished. I think he assumed the smoke was actually covering the whole of the room there, but it actually wasn't. Freeze, in the meanwhile, puts down Blade, gets the bomb in his hands, but it looks like Flipside are going to break the curse now. The 5-round curse that has came to Heroic. 7-1 to 7-6. Flipside may very well end the half in winning ways. Freeze gets domed. Flipside, they have a decent enough economy after losing just the 1 player to replenish everything for this final round of the half.
Oh, Flipside coming up with the round there. Really well done from Blade. He's been a little bit quiet this half. That's a big hat-trick round, though, from them. They're finally slow Heroic down, who had been on quite the winning streak there. Really inch closer in this half. Still, though, 6 rounds for Heroic. Not too shabby for T-side. And we still have 1 round left to play, which could make a big difference on who has the slight edge going into the second half. We are going to see Nikolai again with Valda once again just trying to establish a little bit of presence outside, but they've quickly faded back over towards the hut area, so we could still see some type of upper execute in play. Several players line up on the roof for nades.
Yeah, looking for that slow aggression once again. Flipside, though, credit to them, have been fairly patient in these kind of rounds, not giving anything away, not going walkies and getting themselves fragged. So it's going to be a case of this taking a little while longer, you have to feel. Heroic may very well look for a pop flash. See Valda's laid in wait on Squeaky. Modi's waiting for a potential push through into lobby as well. Here come the nades. And here comes the charge. Bayonets have been fixed. And they'll be looking to rush right into Flipside. But Electronic, once again, at the back of the site, is doing so much work with 3 kills all by himself. And only loses 27 HP in the process. What a play that is. And Heroic, who are so patient, it proves not to matter in the end. Snappy's going to be moving through onto Markelov. Maybe he can get this kill. It's not going to happen. And Freeze with 12 has a 1-on-5 ahead of him. And can't connect a single dot. Flipside do end in winning ways. But strangely enough, I think both teams will be relatively happy with that score.
Yeah, I mean, given the way, I think Heroic's probably a bit more happy, right? Because given the way things started, I mean, at one point they were down 7-1, and they were able to, you know, find 5 rounds out of the last, what, like 8 played or something like that. So that's a really good recovery given how things began. That at least makes it now to where they can be competitive, particularly if they can win pistol round. They'll tie things up and they'll be on the CT side. So that's definitely not a bad look for them. At the same time, though, like 9 rounds, not too shabby for CT side these days.
Yeah, certainly Heroic will be breathing a collective sigh of relief, but the battle's not done just yet. They are still 9-6 behind. If they lose the second pistol, things are going to get very sketchy once again. But typically it has been their CT sides that have yielded a lot more results for them. So now Flipside in the hot seat. Be curious to see if they play any aggressive rounds, or it's going to be fairly slow and static, as we saw from Heroic by and large. Interesting enough, Heroic did try their hand at secret pushes with the smoke outside and secret push, but Blade was really on point. Like, he was stopping them time and time again. So that pretty much put a spanner in the works, and they tried to adapt in kind.
Yeah, again, it was a different look from Heroic than what I'm used to seeing, because I remember when I was casting them at Montreal, I think when they played against Optic on this map, they really almost did the smoke wall outside every single round, almost. Like, I would say, like, maybe, 60% of the time, and then they would just have, like, all these different variations off of it that they could play from, and they use, like, Valda to just be, like, kind of a solo player outside who could, like, create plays by himself while they, like, hit upper, or maybe you would see them discharge outside, whereas in this game, they really did focus a lot more on, like, these either upper executes or, like, upper fake executes into something else. So maybe just trying to practice new things or try to add to their playbook, be a bit more diverse, because this is certainly one of the maps that they are strong on. And you're seeing a lot of teams which, since they, like, other teams will have, like, permabans that aren't Nuke, that means that Nuke can come through for you as your first pick if you want to, and so there's nothing wrong with strengthening a map that's already, really strong for you and trying to make sure that you can bring it out in series as, like, a guaranteed win.
I think it was the Cologne qualifiers that were held in Katowice. I was casting there when Nuke started to get a lot more play, so Hellraisers and Dignitas, well, then known as Dignitas, letting it through. It's like really the first time we're starting to see Nuke being let through time and time again. So it's cool to see how the map has kind of evolved since then, and a lot of more teams are getting much more comfortable on it. I'll be curious to see how much play it gets at the major E-League, which is fastly approaching, actually. It's only a couple weeks away or so. It's going to be awesome to watch. But that being said, we are live now into the second half of the final map. Whatever happens, there must be a winner, and the winner of this will face off against FaZe in the next stage to see who will progress through to Las Vegas. Blade, in the meanwhile, though, round the back of Snappy is going to get the headshot. And that's going to open up things nicely onto A. Freeze has got his work cut out for him if he wants to stop this play coming to fruition. And indeed he will. Two beautiful headshots. He'll go down, but he's bought up enough time for the rest of Modi and Valve to get themselves into close enough proximity. Bomb planted, but Blade on just 3 health. And
oh, no.
Valda, you should never be missing that shot. A player of his caliber as well. He had the drop and everything. Modi.
That hurts.
It definitely does, sir. And now Modi, well, good luck to you, sir. They're all low, but so is he. He's just been headshot. Wall it takes him out. And that's where you're looking at Valda and you're saying, bro, like, you land that shot onto wall, let it, it's a 2-on-2, game's on.
Yeah, the other problem was I don't know if any of them had a kit, though, or if there was one drop somewhere, so that still could have been a problem down the line. But yeah, you got to at least give your team a chance by finding the easy frag there, and just wasn't able to land the shot. Happens to everyone, of course, but that came kind of at a critical time, because now Flipside can start building up the lead. As long as they don't fall prey to, like, one of these like pistol buys from Heroic, they could build up, like, a really nice lead going into the opening gun round.
What? What is this?
It's like the reverse, man. This time it's Valda who gets them. Oh, speaking of umps, you would know.
Oh my god. Yeah, the UMP whiff, I'm the master of that. But, Blades, bro, come on. What is happening here? Now Heroic have got a chance to return the favour.
Oh boy. Yeah, there's an AK in the hands of Valda, who does have armor, already 2 kills on the round, so he's feeling it. He's going to be the key factor, though, because Freeze is low on HP with only P250 and no armor, so it's really going to be up to Valda to finish this one off. Unless Freeze hits it like a sick headshot or something with that 250.
Oh, wait, Landa nearly gets punished, and he does! He whiffs the jump, and it costs him his life. Oh, jeez. Freeze would have heard that as well, I think, and the call would have came through. Hence the peak. What a rough round of CS this has been. And Valda, the man that was given an extra chance courtesy of Blade, delivers with a 4K. Flipside shooting themselves in both their feet and limping to a loss.
There you have it. I mean, right when Flipside was in position to maybe double their lead, now Heroic just stay on their heels, and it's Flipside who were forced to take a save with some upgraded pistols. We have 4 deagles in play. So a lot of deagle action, a lot of potential for some crazy 1Ds are going to be in play here. As we do see Valda tucked into big garage. We're certainly going to be keeping his eyes on things. Not sure if he was able to catch any vision on Markelov here, who is on top of the hut now. Or on top mini, I should say. Valda will step out though, finds World Edit.
Yeah, solid opening pick. It gives outside control to the hands of Heroic. A bit of a awkward moment there where Snappy maybe not fully registering that Waylander was in his face, but did take amends with the comfortable frag in the end. Freeze with just the P250, of course, wants that up as soon as possible. Not going to be investing anything into this round, knowing that it is an eco for the terrorists. And the rest of his team clean up with a flawless round. Flip side, we're back into another eco here. It's very hit and miss, their economy. A couple of players on about 4k, and then you've got a couple that are shy of 2,000. So they're not going to have anything into this round either. So Heroic got another chance to bring this back.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's great to see this, considering how this started. I mean, one point Heroic's down 7-1, and now all of a sudden they're, you know, a couple of rounds away from tying it up 10-all. So this is definitely a great move in the right direction. Again, because this is a chance to move on to play against FaZe for a spot at Vegas, which is an incredibly stacked tournament as it's been shaping up so far. A lot of sick teams, a big prize pool. Going to be the next big thing after the majors. So this is a lot on the line here. We are going to see Heroic pretty much mop things up, right? Not going to have any trouble finding this 9th round. But Flipside should be back onto a bye now. And this is where we're really going to see the Heroic defense tested a bit more. Because World Edit will have an op in his hands. We are going to see full utility on everyone else.
Well, that's very true what you say, honestly. In terms of prestige, in terms of prize pool, and you know the level of teams that are there. Honestly, the Masters are just below the Major. You know, it's the next go-to event. So this is a huge opportunity for both teams to try and progress through. And right now, it's anybody's spot. Of course, they have FaZe to beat afterwards, so you can't really assume they'll go through just yet. But meanwhile, Freeze is watching outside with his AWP. You can see World Edit has his own. But they've already gone through a fair amount of their nades. Flipside, just 2 smokes and 2 mollies left with 1 minute and 30 on the board. They've managed to get a couple players down in secret. That's going to be Electronic, Waylander, and now World Edit. But Valda is hot pursuit. Markelov watching the rotation. On point for his team. Snappy close proximity with the UMP. He's going to be good for 1 and darts away. But 2 UMPs in play for Heroic here against AK-47s. They're definitely worse off in terms of weaponry. But Molly's gone and taken that UMP and picked himself up a frag.
Look up Blade, though, sneaking through the ramp room, catches Freeze and Snappy. World Edit also chiming in. So now it's all on Nikolai, 1-on-3. He's going to get down here pretty quickly, but he's getting flanked by Markelov. He has no idea, I don't think. He gets 1 kill, but Markelov quick to jump on him and trade. And so that's an 11th round for Flipside. They will hold Heroic off from the tie for now. And it was really big play from Blade, the in-game leader there. That was the 2 key kills that tilted the balance in his team's favor. Caught Freeze completely off guard rotating through.
Absolutely. You can see as well where those UMPs started to become a bit of a hindrance to Heroic. They are going to have another buy as a result of not upgrading those aforementioned UMPs. But Flipside, definitely keeping them honest, giving them something to think about. Freeze peering outside once again. Could see action onto Waylander if he decides to peek it, but I doubt he is for the time being. Flipside's going to be congregating just outside of lobby. So no early aggression from either team as of yet.
And World Edit shifting his op over here towards ramp room. Smoke up though from Madi, going to deny him any real vision as Freeze has his op in the outside, trying to see if he can catch anyone crossing. But so far, Flipside have been just tucked into their spawn. They're setting up the smoke wall now though, and Freeze is going to see this, of course, and just try to see if he maybe can't catch, you know, vision over a smoke or through a crack in the smoke. It's really going to be Valda who's going to be the main line of defense for an outside attack. But in fact, this is all a sham. It's going to be Flipside looking to attack into ramp room, but Madi is in position. And Freeze is beginning to rotate to help him.
Yeah, Freeze is going to have the potential to spoil this push down ramp. As he's still peering down there. He hasn't been smoked off just yet. There are 2 smokes in the hands of Flipside, but they're electing not to use them. They're just going to be jumping down ramp instead. Snappy in a position he can quickly rotate through vents if he's so needed. Modi is down at the site on his own, but he's burning to a crisp. He has to start to move away. This is where Freeze is going to finally spring the trap and look to make amends for his team. And now here comes the re-rotation back onto the A site, but Snappy and Nikolai have just not moved the muscle. Then it gets tagged in the kneecap through the wall. Down to 20, he will fall. And that pretty much is the round being finalized by Heroic. There's just simply not enough time for Flipside. They want to try and save their AK in an AWP. Heroic will pick up a 10th round. And Flipside, I like the idea of that re-rotation, but Heroic didn't budge an inch.
So now we're starting to trade rounds back and forth at this point. Very tense. I mean, again, this is very reminiscent of Overpass, which is a very back and forth game. Now we're seeing the same thing here in the second half of Nuke. Again, along the line, chance to move on to play for a spot for Vegas. And I mean, it's really hard to even tell where things are situated at this point. I mean, certainly Flipside now on the back foot economically, so Heroic with a great chance to really tie this game up. It's almost like deja vu from Overpass, where you saw Flipside ahead for a lot of the game, and then right towards the end, Heroic got ahead and won the game. It's starting to shape up that way here again.
Yeah, and it kind of came down to the economic struggles for Flipside that time around. And I can maybe see the same thing happening here, because Heroic, when they're winning, they're typically winning, keeping four or five players alive. Flipside are narrowly scraping through. Saving those 2 weapons is pretty huge, though. It does give them a potential chance to take down a couple of frags here onto Heroic and make a real go of this. Waylander has Kevlar, just a Tech 9 with it, so if they do pick up a weapon, expect one to get dropped to him to combat the aim punch. And, well, speak of the devil, he actually picks up the frag. He's only got 2 health, though, so it's not quite as useful as it could have been. Freeze is on the prowl for a kill. His blade is coming up to greet him face to face. But with that 1 kill, it really does keep Heroic on their tiptoes. They can't take anything for granted now. They're going to be spread out that much thinner watching the 2 sites.
So, as you noted, it is going to make it a little bit more difficult for Heroic to rotate properly, but Freeze has found Blade, but look at Markaloff making big plays from heaven. That's going to clear out the upper bomb site. Bomb is now going to be able to go down pretty safely. Only Madi and Snappy left alive. They do both have kits. Not much utility to work with, though. Money is running a little bit low on a couple of players on Heroic, so not sure if they're really going to be able to go for this. Looks like not. You can already see Madi withdrawing into T-spawn to make sure he secures that M4. Snappy also backing down, so this will be a 12th round for Flipside.
Really seemed like Freeze just didn't react there to Markalov's re-peek on Heaven. Like, surely he knew he was there. And that was the catalyst for the round loss. Markalov is going to go down as he peers towards CT. The call will come through, but with Waylander low, Flipside not really in a position of any kind of economy as well. They don't want to charge this down. They don't want to lose further weapons. So it wouldn't surprise me if the remaining 5 players will just keep alive and take their 24k plus shared investment through into the next round. So it's going to be pretty much the same as the last one. As far as Flipside are concerned, I expect to see some more aggression here. They have the AWP again for Well Edit, but Heroic was just completely caught out there from the outside push.
Yeah, definitely can be really difficult to manage that outside. And so we'll see if they can do a little bit better this time. Valda and Freeze will be heading out there once more, trying to throw some counter smokes down, give Valda a little bit more space to work with here as he will try to slip through it, and maybe he can catch someone off guard. Indeed he does. He cuts off Markalov, looking for more. Lots of flashes coming in to support him, and he keeps finding kills, doing a lot of damage here. Finally gets housed by World Edit, but not before he gets his team a nice man advantage.
Yeah, you can see Valda just called that from a mile away. They went for the outside control last round. They tried again. Valda was having none of it. Close range, 2 frags. Nearly picked up a 3rd as well to World Edit, borrowing a pretty tasty no-scope at point-blank range. But still, the man advantage and Blade being so low, this is Heroic's round to lose. They just should not be losing this, ever. It's going to have to take a huge hero play by Flipside, or a massive dirt by Heroic. And I just can't see that happening.
Yeah, well, especially with Snappy having such forward position here. Just really being able to get a lot of information, really limiting options here for where Flipside's going to be coming from. Looks like they are going to be taking into the lower bomb site, though. They will get the bomb planted as well, but Heroic has a good bit of utility and a numbers advantage to work with on the retake, especially with Blade being so low on HP.
Yeah, I think the bomb plant is completely fine as far as Heroic are concerned, but they really should be getting this retake. Well, that it's going to have to come in with some big plays here. There's the first one, and he's able to switch his attention to Nikolai. Heroic, you can't allow this to go against you. Gonna close the door in his face. Look for that defuse. Modi, in the meanwhile, is going to be covered from Freeze, who dies instantly. A Flipside have done it again. Well, then it was a beautiful ace.
Wow.
But Heroic, you have let so many rounds like that go through your fingers, and that could
Kind of reminds you of that 4K op round on Mirage on the B-bomb site that we saw. This World Edit at times being able to show you these flashes of brilliance where he can just put his team on his shoulders and just make a huge play that's like just a big difference maker, a momentum shifting type set of skills he has. And that's certainly big time stuff because now Heroic have no money. They have to just go to P250s. This is where Flipside start edging closer towards a map victory, a chance to play phase for a spot for Vegas. All of a sudden, Heroic's chances are starting to slide through their fingers. They're running out of options.
That could be the moment here, Dust. That could be the moment that cost them the map. Because they're looking at the next round where they're going to have a solid buy. But at that point, they're 14-10 behind. They're not going to have many more chances. Take nothing away from all that. That was a phenomenal ace. But Heroic will be kicking themselves that they couldn't convert that. Regardless, though, Heroic still in this round. Snappy lands on the head of Waylander, who shoves his gun up his backside. It's going to be painful and leave a mark. But Flipside will take this round as expected. Heroic have a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, they basically have to win out at this point to have a chance at winning in regulation and winning in overtime and trying to move on to the next round of this bracket. But if you're Flipside, you're feeling pretty good about things right now. I mean, you have a good lead. You have Heroic's economy in shambles. I mean, even though they could put together some type of buy in this next round, if you win that, they have no money to play in the last round of the game, right? If you do wind up winning 16-10. So it's really one of those things where, like, Heroic have to be really smart with how they purchase now, because they're not going to get too many more cracks at this.
Yeah, so you're getting towards do-or-die territory now for Heroic. Because, of course, they're going to try and force buy. You'd imagine if it went 15-10, they're likely going to force, and then at that stage, Flipside are all but winners.
Yeah, this is basically Heroic's last chance. Like, they need to convert this round. If not, it's probably a win for Flipside, just because, yeah, like you noted, there's only going to be, what, like $2,900 coming in next round? Highest money is going to be on freeze at $3,100. I mean, that's just not a whole lot to work with. Provided, you know, obviously they could get kill bonuses. But good opening here from Nikolai. Gonna take down a little bit. So that's a good start in the right direction.
Yeah, solid start. Flipside's going to be occupying outside as they saw Heroic do so many times, shooting the outside windows. Freeze aggressive with his AWP, looking for a pick onto Waylander. These are the kind of situations we haven't really seen Heroic being too often on their CT side, or indeed their T side. That's getting the opening pick, getting it for clean, being able to reset and relocate into position. So,
yeah, just that one Valda round aggressive outside was like one of the few that they did.
Yep.
They have lost a couple of rounds that had a mana advantage, though, particularly that World Edit Ace round was a round they had a 4-on-3 and lost, so that has to be in the back of their heads a little bit.
Pitter-patter of footsteps can be heard by Snappy. Doesn't really tell him a great deal, of course, as lobby and also outside is just next to him. Balder's going to be holding the long angle as Snappy goes down. Let's get one trade for his trouble. Straight through the smoke will yield a kill for Nikolai. But Markelov again, not for the first time, picking off Balder on the rotate. And that's going to hurt. 30 seconds left. Heroic can't afford to lose too many more players. It's about the longer game as well. Even if they win this, they've got to get it cleanly, and they've lost 4 players. Waylander in a 1 versus 1. 20 seconds left. The bomb is going to get planted, and now Molly's going to be coming up towards heaven, which will be heard. Molly's going to greet him in the face. And this is so vitally important. He goes down to 14 health. Flipside looking good to potentially take this round. Molly! There's a Molotov there!
Oh, no!
Bro!
He thought he had a little bit more room to work with than what he actually did, and that hurts, man, when reality hits you like that. God, man, I can't even imagine the gut-wrenching pain you probably get from stepping into the fire like that and dying. That's so rough, man. It really is. But at the end of the day, you also have to say this, like, the way that Markelov and Waylander played that 2v3 out was just, like, masterful. Like, just amazing teamwork. Waylander baiting people in the vents for Markelov to catch from mini garage. Waylander getting a pick in the vents, causing a disturbance, causing the CTs to doubt how they want to rotate. Like, it was just really well orchestrated. Like I said, just great team play from Flipside, and that's really been the story throughout this T side. Like, they've been able to find them ways to win rounds where they're a man behind just by playing together so well. And that's just kind of a trademark of these teams that Blade runs, is just the team play. Their overall strategy is on point. So this has been great work from them in this map.
Well, they at least got 4 kills in the last round, so it does allow them a few more weapons to play with than I was expecting. UMPs across the board and a Max 7, but they have conceded the first kill. Again, outside control is being asserted heavily by Flipside. And I can't help but feel that Heroic are starting to circle the drain. Markelov onto Valda. Modi, Nikolai, Snappy. One of them has to step up and pull off the round of the day, you'd have to feel. And Waylander greets Snappy with a headshot. Modi misses out on his opportunity. Does do quite a bit of damage, but gets picked off on the approach. Nikolai now with a Max 7 is going to not be able to pick up the first kill. And will go down. Flipside have done it. They were on the brink of defeat on Mirage, 11-4 behind, and they pulled it back. Heroic will be devastated, but they are knocked out of the close qualifiers.
Yeah, what a great series.